2x2 formation. Road change, now we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action is go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes, oh, he did. Through he goes.
Good evening and welcome to round 1 of AOR's Tier 1 GT3 Season 15. It's the Speedy Boys. We're back again for some more action. I'm Rage F1. As always, I'm joined by my co-commentator, Mr. Tim. Tim, how are you doing, buddy? Did you enjoy your time off? How was the break? Nice. Good. I never knew it left you. Well, it's back, and that's the main thing. And you're here. That's also very, very good. Well, we are here in sunny Barcelona. It's actually coming towards the end of the evening, and we've got some returning drivers. So let's get into who is racing this evening and who isn't. We've got a host of drivers in front of us at the moment, but we'll go through some names that you may have heard. Aidan Walshingham is one of those who are on board currently. Luke Whitehead, the 4-time and reigning champion. He is currently first place on the board in practice. 141.9 for him. George Boothby is back with us with a fantastic livery, I must say. Look at that. It's got Mercedes with the McDonald's arches on it. What's on the roof? Can't quite tell. Tim, I'll leave that with you. Gert Fisher, he is with us as well, back for another time. Hopefully he can push the boundaries of that BMW and get a good position this season. Not that he didn't last time. That was a double-ended compliment, wasn't it? Raphael Mallow, we haven't heard of him, I don't think, at least. Fabio Zerbin, he is back. I seem to remember Fabio racing with us before. Sakiri Lithanen, not heard of him, but I have this one. Chris Warner, Apex 1, did fantastic job last season out for season 14. Alex Torregrossa is back with us again for another season. Harley Chamberlain, also back. Remy Papin, the Frenchman himself, in the G Lingui Esports Elite team. Fantastic livery there in the Aston Martin. Michael Thomas, the young Brit, he's back with us after a little bit of a break. Turn 1 sim racing. Kieran Prendergast, the man, the myth, the legend. He is back for another season and another shot. Samir Foch, the old guard. He's back in a Ferrari. We've got Junko Dermanen also back in a Ferrari. Jardier has joined us for another one. Veloce, Jardier Veloce team. Livery's not working for him though. That's a shame. Valentin Barrier. See how he can do with that Aston Martin. I'll keep going, Tim, because I'm just going to go through the whole load of them. We've got Yaroslav Dimitriev is back with us again. Kirsters Podens looks like he is with Remy Papin with that lovely kind of Peugeot-ish kind of livery there. Christoph Makazowski, never say that very well. Apex 1, raced with us last season. Welcome back, sir. Christian Ranieri, not heard of you, but welcome. Part of the R team, apparently. Looks like he didn't finish his team off. Never mind. Matteo De Campo, brilliant livery. We're getting to see all these fantastic liveries. Look at that one. If you want a livery that shocks and awes, there you go. Purple with a bit of pink, with a bit of red. That's like a BMW art car. Vulcan's with us again with a name I can't pronounce, but Vulcan's here. Stefan, sorry. Go on. Asiacek. He's got much better Slavic tongue than me. Okay. Vulcan Asiacek. Okay, I will remember. I will try my best. But this name's fantastic. Jacob Blizzard, or Jacob, I don't know. We're just going to call him Jacob Blizzard. Blizzard! Fantastic name. Part of SGSS. That's the initials for my grammar school. We won't mention it. Lucas Con Gretel in the Virtual Drivers by TX3 AOR driving team. There you go. Kevin Niles, he's back. The legend. Matt Yorkie promoted up into Tier 1. York Sports Racing, fantastic Bentley there from Matt York. Good to see him up with the fast boys. Then who else have we got? Wilf Padawan. Wilf Padawan, we'll go with that. Welcome to your new nickname, Wilf, part of that SGSS team. Josh Waring is back with us again, Tim. He's back. Luca Tozzato, not seen him either. Skylar Laverink has joined us again. Livery's not working, unfortunately. Traction Dave, there's a big name. Turn 1 Sim Racing, he is with us for a season by the looks of things. There's a lot of people. Free practice has finished, by the way. Mikhail Pochipin, not heard that one either. I'm sure I've butchered that name again as well. I'll let you do some of these. There's only a couple more left. Sylvian Amor. I'm not sure we've seen Sylvian. Sylvain, I'm sure I've butchered that. Alejandro Alves is back with us again for another one. Matthias, won't say his surname. Abe Santema, welcome back. And Lucian, again, can't pronounce your surname. But there you go. I'm sure we probably missed some as they all jostle around. But that is the grid so far, at least. We might have some no-shows for the first round. And I think we're about to go into qualifying while I catch my breath. It is indeed. Yes. Oh. Never mind. Never mind. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm looking through. Half of them are loaded, half of them aren't, so I'm not too sure what's gone on again. It's lovely. We can never get these working. It's very frustrating. You never know. You never know. He's not out of his pit yet, I don't think. At least I can't see him. He might be doing a one-lap wonder. I'm not too sure. We're on board with his main competitor last year, with Aidan Walsingham. He's upgraded to the Honda. Very, very interesting there. I wonder what he's in. We haven't looked. I haven't looked. The reigning and the only four-time AOR has had. Where is he? I can't find him. Where is he? Oh, there you go, found him. He is back in the Porsche. No, it's the same for me. Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm sure the chat will let us know if that's a pre-usable livery. I don't know anymore. They add them and take them off all the time. I'm not that well rehearsed on this to know, unfortunately. I've neglected the chat. I will have a little chat with everyone. Boys, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Prentice Senior, welcome. Take your place, your main sofa in front of this stream, because you are the mainstead, the man who's always here to support. So welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us again. Let's go Team SGSS Racing, new outfit for Tier 1. Not heard of them. So, Aria Jazz, let us know a little bit more information about Team SGSS, and we can shout about it. H, hope he doesn't DC on the first lap. All right, okay, simmer down. Well, there we go. We can't hear the sound of the cars. We should be able to now. Can we see? Let me know, chat. That's strange. That is very strange. Yeah. No, it's not picking up anything at all from the audio, which is very strange because I have not done anything to change the audio. There we go, we're back. I'm really sorry. It is working now. You should be able to hear everything. And Tim, I'm really sorry you've joined us. I'm sorry, Tim. They should be able to hear you now. Apologies. Thank you, chat. That's why we use you guys. Till it's the first race of the season, we're still getting used to it. As we got some times on the board, Tim, take us away.
Well, what have we got going on now? Right, there 2 seconds. That's going to scroll up. So, no surprises to anyone at the moment. Luke Whitehead currently in pole position with a 1:42.487, closely followed by George Boothby with a 1:42.752, and then Toro Grosso third place on the grid at the moment with 1:42.895. So only the top 4 cars currently within the 1:42s. We saw 1:41s just in first practice, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not anyone can match those sort of times. There was only one driver, and you get no prizes for guessing which one that was that got into the 1:41s. Yeah, no prizes at all. Not even going to mention his name because it's too obvious, isn't it? I'm just having a quick look at the timing board and just trying to work out where Aidan Walshingham is. I think he's only just maybe putting in a flying lap now. Where's he gone? Because he was the closest driver in practice, and he is currently scrolling a long way down to try and find him.
Found him. 32nd place. 32nd place.
I'm going to vote he hasn't put a lap in.
No, I don't think he has. We're on board with him now.
Yeah. I think he was 0.16 behind Whitehead in first practice, so I would imagine he's probably going to put in an absolute screamer at some point and try and close the gap up. But so Jardier in practice wasn't overly quick, and then he's got himself up inside the top 6 at the moment. And there you go, Aidan Walshingham puts himself in second place with a very, very close 1:42.322. So Luke Whitehead with a slight improvement now into the very low 1:42s. Gert Fischer on improvement as we speak, as is Harley Chamberlain. Lots of drivers actually still putting in decent improvements. So I think it's going to be a bit of chop and changing until the last couple of minutes when everyone's really trying to squeeze in a perfect time.
Yeah, it's all about trying to get that lap together. Gert Fischer is up on his time. Sorry, he's got 5 tenths to make up, and he's got 2 tenths in hand. So he might jump Valentin Barrier here. He does. There you go, across the line. Jumped Valentin Barrier for third place and jumped him slightly in front in the second row of the grid. Good qualifying so far from him. It's good to see the likes of George Boothby back up in the top spots. I do like that livery though; it's quite cool, isn't it? You might not be able to see this because you haven't downloaded. He's in a Lexus, I might point out. It's the only Lexus I've probably seen in a long time, and he's flying. George Boothby is doing fantastically well, and he's got a great livery on that Tamagotchi. I mean Lexus.
This is what's quite nice. Obviously, this is the second season. We're now running a custom BOP, so balance of performance. The idea is to try and keep all the cars reasonably well balanced across a lap time. So every car is going to have a slight advantage. Bentley is still going to be a rocket ship in a straight line, and Ferraris are still going to be fantastic at throwing through those fast corners. But the idea is obviously to try and bring back some of these cars and make it a bit more equal. Hence, we're starting to see Bentleys, Hondas, even Aston Martins, AMGs. As we said a moment ago, the Lexus back up here as well. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Honda and a Lexus up in Tier 1 or Tier 2? You just don't see it. It's just, you always, as fast as these guys are, you have to make a logical decision and go for a car that is going to work quite nicely with the BOP. But now there is this custom. It's absolutely great. It means that everyone's a bit more equal, just because KUNOS can't keep on top of it as often as, say, you know, people behind the scenes can here. But I'm noticing quite thin on the ground, which normally would be dominant all throughout the seasons. Not really seeing any Lamborghinis, because that was the car of choice last season, and not really seeing that many McLarens.
No, there's a few, a spluttering of McLarens amongst the field. But yet, more Hondas, with more Japanese cars. There's a couple of AMG Mercedes in there as well. The Ferraris have stayed round about the same. A few more BMWs maybe, definitely more Aston Martins this season, so obviously the custom BOP is working well. I know they have actually incentivised people to use the Jag, but I don't think anyone really wants to use it. Harley Chamberlain, first-time racer in Tier 1, has come across the line in 4th place there with that. 6 minutes to go, lots of opportunity. We'll go on board with Mr. George Boothby, because he's currently in 10th place in a Lexus, and this is quite fantastic. This is what the BOP that AOR Designs promotes, like you say. A mixed grid, and a grid that doesn't always look the same. Inside the top 10, we've got a Porsche, a Honda, a BMW, an Aston Martin, a Ferrari, and a Lexus. So we'll let that settle in. All we need is a McLaren and an AMG Mercedes, and we've almost got a full lot. What's Yorkie getting up to? Boothby up to 2nd place in a Lexus. Fantastic.
Look for Matt York. Matt York, where is he sitting?
38th place.
He's 38th place.
Yeah. He is 38th place. Let's have a look at that livery then for the York Sportsman. Where is he? Lovely. Look at that. An epiphany of white and yellow. Number 65.
So glad to see Matt York back in a Bentley. It's just absolutely fantastic. Now, someone's saying that they still can't hear me or the cars, but we're pretty sure we sorted that.
You should definitely be able to hear the cars. I can see the levels going left, right and centre. I'll maybe leave that with you, Tim, just to double check if you can hear the cars on the street.
I will go and have a little listen and see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know why. Not too sure what's going on. I mean, I can see it changing around. The
joys of the internet. Don't we just love it?
I know.
There's people saying it's all good. No, you know what? I'm going to come out and say it.
Okay. Lies.
Historically? Yep.
What?
I think it says Hist Rally. It's like HSIT Rally. You're telling porkies, or possibly you might have muted something yourself. I'm not sure how, but there we go.
Okay, good. As long as peeps can hear, it's fine. I can hear you all fine. Sound is okay. All is okay. Thank you very much. They're memeing. It was just a meme. It was a meme. It was like the time when we almost got DDoSed, but they couldn't manage to DDoS AOR because we're just amazing. Do you remember that? You were there, Tim, I think. I think I called.
It was, yeah.
Or even called them out. Actually, might have been when I was with Jay, I think, because he was annoyed that I kept on provoking them. They never did get us, all thanks to a couple of the coordinators that were batting off the DDoS attacks left, right and centre. You were doing Tier 2 at that point. I think you might have run into a few issues around about that time. But yeah.
There was a period of time, it was one of those things unique to sim racing or esports, I suppose, where there was just a real wave of it, where there was just people hacking and and sort of interrupting servers and things, which I mean, everyone's got to do something, I suppose, and if that's what you want to do, then fine. But a bit odd. I mean, slightly less disruptive than people gluing themselves to the middle of racetracks and such, as they have been in real life. But still, it's slightly annoying when you've spent all that time and you get yourself ready.
At least it's not minestrone or something like that, Minestrone to the Mona Lisa and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's a strange world we live in these days, isn't it? It is a strange world.
The good thing
is why I'm glad to be.
Go on, Karen. Sorry.
I was going to say, this is why I'm glad to be hiding in my loft space with my computer, where it's my safe space.
I was going to say, at least in esports, you don't get maniacs running down the back straight at Silverstone. when the Formula 1 cars are running around. You don't get that in esports. You can't have pitch invaders or track invaders in esports, but you can get DDoSed. DDoSed to the moon. None of that, though, today, hopefully. We are on board at the moment. Well, not on board, but watching. Harley Chamberlain currently down, actually, on the time. So maybe they're warming up for a fast one. Gert Fischer, though, is up a 10th. How far back is Gert? Can't tell. He's going through turn 7 or so, roughly.
It's Gert Fischer. Yeah, Gert Fischer's
Yeah,
currently showing up to me as a sort of level on his time.
He lost it, I think, through turn 7 and 8.
So I can see Avalais is 0.3 up on the lap time, all the way down in 18th at the moment, but that's a decent old improvement this late in qualifying. All the way up into 6th. What an improvement. Avalais coming absolutely out of nowhere and swinging for the fences. And realistically, unless you're already out on a warm-up lap, you're not really going to get time to put in a decent flyer at this point, really. You're going to have to be very quick to get out. You've only maybe got 10 seconds to get out and get going.
This guy's, he's got a fantastic livery, Alejandro. I think it was Team Hydra. What a cool name. Sounds like you're a bad guy. Luke Whitehead's been slowly just, walking along in first place, commanding qualifying. Doesn't really look like he's even trying. Avalais doesn't want any more of this session. He's pitted the car. He's not going to be any more improvements from him. Luke Whitehead will get another run in, so he'll go for another shot. Maybe he's just warming up those tyres, but no one really on an improvement apart from there's a couple here. Lucas is currently on a slight improvement, but he's at the very beginning of his lap. Well, let's see what the current leader is doing. He's putting the car over. Well, no more from Luke Whitehead. Then he's put himself in a position where he can't improve, and he has taken himself to the pits. Right, P1 is up for the grabs. If anyone can get a 10th inside the top 3, they will definitely be in a shout for pole position. We could have a little bit of a change here. George Boothby is currently a 10th up. Oh my god. He's a 10th up. He's in a Lexus. He's coming through the final corner. And we could see an upset here that could absolutely surprise everyone. Oh, he's on the bubble. I don't think he's going to do it. Across the line. No improvements for George Boothby. I think he lost it on the final corner. Almost there. Put a shock to the whole grid. But he's not, unfortunately. We'll have to wait and see. Anyone else inside the top 10 improving at the moment? I don't think they are. Aidan Walsingham possibly could improve. Gert Fischer could possibly improve. Everyone's very much maxed out their cars, haven't they?
I think this has got to the point in qualifying where it's just a case of you've already found your absolute limits, and now what you're doing is throwing out absolutely everything at the wall and hoping that something sticks. But it's when you start to make mistakes, as we just saw from Boothby there. He was just pushing that a little bit too hard. So realistically, consistent pace is probably out the window now. Aidan Walsingham still out there, coming towards the end of the lap. No improvement on the lap time that I can see. But he's not down either. It might be one of those weird timing things where it just suddenly appears at the last second.
He's not going to improve. He lost it.
He's down.
Yeah, he lost it massively going through turns 14 and 15. We're on board with Harley Chamberlain. Could throw a little upset. He's in P5. I say he. It could be a she with the name Harley. I don't know, but I'm going to guess he. P5. No improvement at the moment. Actually down on the time. Losing time at the end there and pulls it into the pit. Well, I think that's almost it. Aidan pulls it over. Samir Foch could possibly upset some people here. He's down though on the time. He's on the grass. He's mowing. It's not going to be Samir Foch for any improvements. Junko Terminen possibly could surprise. Whereabouts is he? P11, down a 10th or so. I think they've all just maxed out their qualifying ability. It looked like George Boothby invalidated on the final corner, by the way. That's why he went from 1/10 to 0 straight away. So that's a big shame for him. So Junko Terminen, here we go. P11 currently. Down 2/10. We're not going to see any improvement. I think that is it for qualifying. Luke Whitehead starts this season with a P1 pole position for round 1 of season 15. George Booth will be joining him on the front row. Aidan Walsingham will be in 3rd place, and 4th will be Gert Fischer. Some more cars come across the line, but that is it, I think, for qualifying. We're there. And Alexis is on the front row. Crazy.
It's been so long since anything like we've seen, really, isn't it? I mean, like last season we saw a little bit of a change. Oh, there we go. Cool. Harley is a girl.
Oh,
Absolutely
fantastic.
fantastic. And a Jardier community driver. Fantastic to see.
Brilliant. There you go. I didn't
Female...
assume.
Yep.
We
I think we've
didn't
had a couple
assume.
of female drivers over the years, but it is always fantastic to have more female drivers on board. Always great. It is not just a boys' club.
Hopefully Stewie's not memeing us, and we'll just call Harley a girl for the rest of the season. We'll have to just trust you guys. we will trust you. Right. I won't go through the grid that hard because we kind of did it straight away, but I might go through the top 15, just the top half, because it's I mean I went through all of those names at the beginning. Don't fancy doing it again, Tim, to be quite honest. But let's just go.
No, it's absolutely fine.
Go on.
It really wasn't that long ago we went through the whole lot, did we? So yeah, I think the top 15.
Top 15, I think.
Fine.
I think so too. Luke Whitehead then in the top spot, joined by George Boothby. Can't see the cars because the flipping banner. Then we have to go from behind. Aidan Walsingham, his teammate. I'm assuming his teammate. What to find out? They haven't changed their thingy. Look, Veloce 2023. Come on, get with the times, guys. Gert Fisher in 4th place, 2nd row of the grid, just behind Aidan. Harley Chamberlain. Fantastic first foray for her. Well done. I love, people are memeing right now, so I don't think it's a she. So we're just going to say they, and then it's just all good. Alejandro Alvarez in 6th place. Valentine Barrier joining in P7. Lucas Congratiel, or the Congariel as we're going to call him now, in P8. Samir Foch in P9. Michael Thomas in P10. Junko Terminen in P11. P12, Alex Torregrossa and Fabio Zerban in P13. That's a good meme if it was. Vulcan in P14. And Jardier rounding out the top 15. I mean, if you want us to go down, I'm not going to say them all, but I will go through them so you can see them on the screen as we have a little chat. So Harley's definitely a bloke. Kieran Prendergast, just so you know, Kieran Prendergast Senior, he is in P18. Right, well, what should we look forward to for the start of the season? Have we got any long races this season, Tim? Do you know?
Let's have a quick double check. I mean, I should have probably remembered all of this, but, you know, brain's all a bit weird at the moment. Changing job at the end of next week. So, one, we'll have a lot more time to be preparing for things like this because I won't be traveling for an hour there and back all the time. And two, I'll have more money, so I can probably buy better internet and a better graphics card. So everything will improve at that point. So next week we're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which will actually be the first time I've ever commentated on a race there, so that'll be interesting. Third race is Watkins Glen, then Brands Hatch, Paul Ricard, Suzuka, and then rounding out the season at Spa. I'm just going to double check the lengths of all those races. Sure, so Watkins Glen is a 90-minute race, so that is round 3. Have we got another one? And Paul Ricard Car Park, that is a 90-minute race as well. I think that's probably going to be it. Yes, so 2 rounds at 90 minutes. We've got Paul Ricard in a couple of weeks' time and Watkins Glen coming up just before that as well. They are both 90-minute races, so slightly extended sort of mini endurances, but it is quite nice. It changes up the platform a little bit. Obviously, when we do these shorter 1 hour sprint races, no refueling is allowed and there is a mandatory tyre change. Whereas when it comes to the 90-minute races, there is no mandatory refueling or tyre changes, but refueling is allowed. So it does open up the way that people do things a little bit.
Yes, definitely. I know there were some changes to some of the rules. I'm not too sure exactly what they were. We're a wealth of knowledge here, guys. But there was some changes to some rules. Maybe some of the coordinators, if they're listening, could let us know in our chat some of those changes. I definitely remember there being some changes. I love it that Stewie has properly got us, and I don't think Harley is a girl, but for the rest of the season now we're just going to misgender her. Her. So now, for all intents and purposes, Harley Chamberlain is a girl. So well done. She's done good to get there. We'll support her. No, we can't do that now in 2024. Or can we? We shall. Luke Whitehead currently leading them around. George Boothby, I can't believe this, in a Lexus. We've got 2 Japanese outfits chasing down the panel beater himself. Luke Whitehead, the Ripper, is going going to be running away. His old teammate, Aidan Walsingham there, just a car behind. Gert Fisher will be chasing. Harley, bless her, she'll be in P5. Alejandro Alves will be in P6. Valentin Barrier in P7. The Congra Eel in P8. Samir in P10. 9, sorry. Sorry, Samir. P10 is Thomas. It's going to be a good start, this. We've got a good season ahead of us. And I think we're going to have some laughs along the way. If you were to call a top 3, I know it's early days, at the moment, what are you saying?
Across the line or the whole championship?
No, just across the line. Just across the line.
Across the line. Right. I mean, realistically, I'd be a fool not to put Whitehead somewhere on the podium. Really. I'm gonna come out and say I think we're gonna see Avilés and Walsingham. They're gonna be my 2 other drivers.
Like it.
Boothby is a little bit of an unknown for me, if I'm honest. He hasn't competed in many seasons while I've been in the comms box. Covered him on a couple of endurance races, and I think that's about it, really. So I know he is UKOG. He is one of the proper quick boys. But while he's been away, these bigger names, Aidan Walsingham, people like that, they've been growing in strength. So, it might be a little bit of a surprise. He might be coming in and thinking, I did great in qualifying. I'm going to do great in the race. And then suddenly be like, oh my God, these lads have got their elbows out and they're going for it. So, be interesting to see how it goes.
Yes, definitely. I think so. I think you'll be foolish to discount George Boothby. So we'll see how he does. I'm just trying to see if Boothby has actually won a championship. I can't quite remember. I'm pretty sure he might have done, I can't remember how you find out. I'm sure it tells you. Anyway, how far are we? How much longer we got? Whereabouts are they?
Only a few corners left to go.
Okay.
You were saying about rule changes.
Yes.
Weird rule change this time round. So there are no mandatory pit stops this season.
Shut the front door. That's hilarious.
But there is a mandatory tyre change. So you have to pit to do your tyres.
Okay.
Which is a bit odd, but it's saying in all the race settings and practice race settings that it just says where it says mandatory pit stop numbers, and it's no. Whereas then if you go back one season, as I always have the previous season open, I'm going to go quiet in a second, it still says 1. So there we go, final run to the line. Take it away, Rage.
No worries. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We're about to go green, green, green. We'll come back to that little chat about the information about the pitting and whether there's a little loophole there. I'm not too sure, but we will come back to it. Luke Whitehead then leads away this train for season 15, race 1, with George Boothby on the outside. Walsingham and Gert Fisher going toe-to-toe. Boothby round the outside into turn 1. Small touch, I think, there, but all well and good. Boothby squeezing out what looks like it's going to be his season competitor and squeezes past into the lead. He's now got to hold it for all of those laps until the end of this race. What a fantastic start then for George Boothby. You discounted him at the beginning. Look at all those drive-throughs. I'm not too sure that must have been off the start. I don't know what's going on there. We might have to touch on that a little bit later. I don't know if we've got any accidents any further down, but it looks like the top 15 at least got through quite well. It's Boothby from Whitehead, Walsingham, Fisher, Chamberlain doing well, she is. Congra Eel from Alves, from Barrier, Thomas, and Samir Fosh. He's dropped a place back to 10th. Any incidents back there, Tim?
There was one incident there just as they were coming through, kind of a 19, and I've lost the other number. That was Ranieri. I'm not sure he was actually the beginning of that incident. I'm going back to try and have a look. It was one of the green Hondas, sort of mid-pack, that got rotated. Oh, quite a few cars got rotated there, and it was just a case of sort of concertina, people bunching up, nowhere to go. Oh, that was quite a big... There was too many cars to mention in one. I'm sure the stewards will be rubbing their foreheads and sort of crying at the moment, because that was a lot of cars involved in that incident. I think most people got away with it fairly nicely, but a lot of side-to-side action, a lot of traded paint.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind when normally about 10 minutes passes, and we'll probably see what happened there. As Aidan Walsingham, Luke Whitehead and all of the above are trying to catch George Boothby. Got the legs down the straight, he has. Luke Whitehead lost him a little bit by a couple of car lengths as Boothby gets a little bit unsettled on the first little stage of turning. Really good though through turn 3. Was able to put the power down, a little bit of a lift, but then he's got it straight back on again. Luke Whitehead still sticking with him on the gearbox. Slightly better on the brakes is the Porsche. Definitely quicker through the corners, but no slouch is that Lexus. It's doing okay. The Tamagotchi's obviously fully charged. It's hatched. It's hungry. Aidan Walsingham slightly behind. Gert Fisher chasing as well. Harley's doing pretty well for a girl. Alejandro is in 6th place. Luke Whitehead, though, menacing on the back of George Boothby. Sorry, that joke's not going to go anywhere, Stewie.
I think the top 5 managing to slightly break away. As we say, Chamberlain is that final car in the row. And then just behind it, you've got Avalay still trying to hold on to the back of them as well. And then it's just becoming a long concertina. Fairly trouble-free this first couple of laps, though. I mean, obviously, we had that first lap incident, but there wasn't anything too sort of obvious and nasty. Oh, apparently, yes, we are ready for season
we are.
15, which is nice to see.
48 votes.
Of people,
Sorry.
yeah, but 16% of the people saying they weren't ready. So probably a bit of a shock when it suddenly came around.
Oh,
I know it was a bit of a shock for us when us in the commentary booth. We suddenly go, "Oh my good lord, I need to make sure I'm free on a Monday night to do commentary again."
Yes.
Oh, Boothby set the fastest lap of the race now. What has he put in? A 1:43. So gonna probably see improvements there.
Instantly snatched away. Harley took it away from him. 1:43.5. 0.7. There was literally 7 thousandths in that. So there you go. Top 5 are flying. They're already breaking away. That gap back to Alejandro is already 1.5. So they are really going some. I think really Boothby's holding up Whitehead, but Whitehead's not able to overtake because of the lack in pace and straight line speed. It's not for the lack of trying though. It's very close though between Walsingham, Fisher and Whitehead at the minute. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens as this race kind of progresses. But we're forced into a very good situation actually, where this train is being really held by George Boothby. He's trying though. He's trying to hold on to it, and he's doing a good job. All he has to do really is not make any mistakes, and he could technically run away with it. Let's have a little look further down, because we do have some fantastic racing going on. We're on board at the moment with Matt York, behind a very battered Ferrari. I think that's the 17. I can't even tell. Of Congra Eel.
That got rotated on lap 1. Pretty sure that's a recovering car. So that was, who was that?
It was Lucas.
Must be Congra. Yeah, pretty sure that car was sort of just outside the top 10 on lap 1. We definitely saw one of them get rotated and sort of spat out pretty hard. That would explain the absolute. Oh, another rotation in the back of the shot there. One of the AMGs going round. What's that? It was Will. Yes.
Someone's saying there's no pit requirement. There you go,
well,
sorry.
This is what we were saying. There is no pit requirement, but it is still saying a tyre change is needed. But normally on the timing boards, we'd have a little, where it's green currently next to the racing numbers, they'd normally be amber.
Yeah, and they're all green.
A number on it. Yeah, and they're all green. So there is possibly no pit requirement this time around, which really is going to be a case of who read the rules properly and who didn't, and you'd be pretty kicking yourself if you've planned to pit halfway through. I mean, technically you're still going to have enough fuel because you couldn't have refueled anyway. Okay, so I
was going to say you have to pit for tyres, mandatory pit stop. I'm reading it now. This is from the coordinators this afternoon. So where is it? Respect the rules. No chatting quality of the race. No refuel. Mandatory pit stop for tyres. I reckon they might have set the server slightly wrong on that, Tim.
Possibly that might be a case of. But I mean, if it's kind of an honor system there, isn't it? Really, I mean, if they haven't set it up to be automatically caught in the server, you could understand why some drivers might be thinking, well, I haven't got a pit, and they don't pit. You could fully understand that. Sort of, every racer has got to try and, sort of take advantage of every loophole possible, but at the same time, if it's in the racing rules that you're meant to pit, well, I mean, luckily this isn't something that me and you have to actually be the ones making the decisions on. But yes, not a position I'd probably like to be in the coordinate spot. It's hard enough just doing this bit.
I think despite what the server says, I think as it's been written down on Discord and it's in the rules of the league, as we have a change for P2. Almost Aidan Walsingham trying to go around the outside. Luke Whitehead, given the space, has to run over the rumbles, and they're both going to lose positions here. Gert Fischer looking to make the move, but has to lift, unfortunately. Very well placed there from Luke Whitehead. The car just using himself, really, to slow down the car behind. Aidan Walsingham rejoined very safely and gets the position. There you go. Aidan was forced off on the apex of 2-ish, you know, all racing. Nothing mean about that. That's just GT3 cars and a very compliant Luke Whitehead, who knows, I think, he's suffering at this stage. Gert Fischer holding very well, and Chamberlain behind, not doing anything silly. And Luke Whitehead's right there, though. Look, he wants that place back. He can smell blood.
Yeah, he had a much, much better run out of that last corner, and he had to go straight onto the back of the Honda, but had nowhere to go. Couldn't get around the outside. It was only going to be gravel, and couldn't really cut to the inside either. There was no time. So absolutely flying, but he has now got Gert Fischer also sniffing around the back of him, and that BMW is monstrously quick in a straight line. Its braking is distance as well is pretty good. I've got to say, really impressed with the two Honda drivers at the moment. You know, Harley and Walsingham doing really, really good jobs. I know we'd say it's got the custom BOP, but still, that is a car that really hasn't been anywhere near the sharp end.
No, definitely not. And as well, you know, Harley Chamberlain is a bit of an untested, untested driver in AOR, at least for Tier 1. We've not had the pleasure, so yeah, not too sure how long they'll be able to hold on, but we'll see behind Gert Fischer at the moment. But doing very well. Times are good, and for an unknown commodity, still doing very well to hold on to this top 5. Luke Whitehead, though, absolutely ringing that Porsche to try and catch up on his teammate. I'm assuming they're teammates. They were last time. They got on very well. I would only but assume they're still teammates again for this season. But there we go. Yeah, I was going to say, people were talking about it here. I think some drivers will be short on fuel due to the no pit stop requirement. Well, no, you don't refuel anyway. So there you go. You must pit. A penalty if you don't. Yes, but the server's not set up to do that. Look, you can see there's green ticks. There's no pit stop requirement in this race. It's not been set up correctly. I think you're going to have to take the spirit of the rules, and that's probably what it will get reduced back to. It's the driver's responsibility to make sure they're aware of the rules of the race before it starts. Yes, the coordinators need to make sure that the server's set up correctly, but it's the driver's responsibility to make sure they adhere. Anyway, we won't touch on that. I'm just going on what's been previous when we've had controversial things. Tim, flashbacks to Misano.
Yeah, don't. I got the 1,000-yard stare still. I still panic whenever I see it. But yes, I have sent a question. I have sent the question to one of the higher ups just to try and find out, but they're probably very busy themselves, either A, scrambling to do all sorts of behind the scenes stuff, you know. So who knows? We might find out at some point. If not, we'll just have to wait until the end, won't we? It'll be exciting for everyone to see what happens. I would presume that especially a lot of the veterans here would have realised that they need to pit stop to, you know, to do tyres. It does still say mandatory tyre change, so if you don't come into the pits and do tyres, then, you know.
Well,
there's a lot of people in the chat saying about the issue of certain drivers don't have enough fuel to get to the end, as it has always been with these 60-minute sprint cups. There is no fueling allowed during the race whatsoever. So every driver, regardless of whether the rules have changed this time round or not, will be running enough fuel to get to the line. If they're not running enough fuel, then that's just a case of they've miscalculated it. You know,
yeah.
Everyone's done it. I know I've done it in a race where I've, for some reason, decided that, you know, a minute was 120 seconds long rather than 60, and I only had half the amount of fuel I needed, which is great fun. No, we've all made mistakes. Oh, good run here by Whitehead, trying to go around the outside now. Can he do it? Not quite able to go around the outside of Walsingham. Can he get the switch back? No, he can't.
Wasn't able to make the move there. Brilliant defending from Aidan Walsingham. These drivers know each other very well, so there you go. It's written in game chat apparently, so there we go. I know obviously some people are watching other things. If you pit, you use less fuel. It is quite right. Up ducker is right technically, because you've got your in lap, you've got the pit fuel lap. Obviously, when you're running down, you don't use as much fuel. Some of these guys are literally that fine on fuel that the out lap and also the in lap and the run through the pit all counts towards your fuel. I mean, you'd be a little bit silly to make sure you're that close on fuel. But anyway, I think you should definitely take the spirit of the rules into consideration. And you've also got to remember, guys, community run, community led league. You know, there's no money involved. These guys are volunteers. You know, the coordinators spend a lot of their time, hours and effort doing all of this for free. So a little bit of slack to be cut. We never see this before. I've never seen this before. So I'm sure everyone will abide by the rules. And if they don't, someone doesn't pit and they seem to have not pitted, they will get disqualified. That's as simple as that. Anyway, we'll continue. Chamberlain doing very well, though, in P5. And Luke Whitehead so close to making a move. All of this, though, leading brilliantly into George Boothby's hands.
Quick little update, car number 907, which was Jacob Blizzard, rotated going into, which turn was that? It would have been, I presume that would have been Europe car, but I think my math might be slightly wrong, the names on it, because it hasn't got the chicane on it for some reason, but never mind. Third to last corner, we'll call it that, rotated round there and was collected, so probably carrying a little bit of damage, is now running in 33rd place. Someone that's made a good old improvement throughout this pace of the race, though, has been Matt York, up into 32nd place at the moment, and on the trail of quite the list of cars in front of him. I think he started off significantly further back on the grid than that. I think it was third from the back. It was quite sort of surprising, but obviously showing his race pace is better than his quali. God, how strange is it to see Luke Whitehead not at the front?
I know.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's good, though.
And I mean, let's be honest. He's not even safely in third place. He's got Gert Fischer right behind him and Harley Chamberlain, who, Harley Chamberlain, a bit of an unknown, but is really holding their own against everyone else at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Gert Fischer, a really well qualified veteran driver who we know will be, not just going for outright speed. They'll be playing a bit of a smart game, waiting to see what Whitehead and Walshingham do. Will he take advantage of those two squabbling? Whitehead does seem to still be really on the aggressive drive. He's sort of coming off the standard line, showing his nose up the inside wherever he can.
I'm racking my brain to think. I seem to remember the Porsche either being very strong or very bad around here. Just looking at Luke Whitehead's performance, I think it's quite bad. I mean, if I was to guess, someone was to ask me, I'd say the Porsche is actually quite good round here. But that would just be a guess. I've got nothing to prove that on. But I seem to remember it being either one or the other around Catalonia. So maybe it's just the Porsche is just not that great round here. And obviously we're seeing that with Luke at the moment, not able to perform. Look, we're not Luke Glory supporters, but it's good to see that he's fighting to try and get past his teammate. It's a fantastic race, and you guys are all getting given a great showing of these brilliant drivers, and the respect they gave each other when they did finally overtake was fantastic. Well, let's go back then to Gert Fischer slightly so we can see the fight go on through the next couple of laps. But I think Luke is suffering, isn't he? Really struggling.
Yeah, Gert Fischer he is definitely closing up on him significantly now, and he does go to the inside. Is he going to have enough of an overlap on the brakes? No, he can't. God, Luke braked as late as he possibly could then and managed to just about hold on to it. So the BMW not looking quite as strong on the brakes as it has done in previous seasons. Maybe a case of the BOP affecting it. The BMW used to be absolutely monstrously good on the brakes. So to be there, well, I was about to say it did look really good there, but he went quite deep and he's now left himself open to Harley. Yeah, someone in the chat there, that's like Stu there, saying about how, Gert Fischer makes a mistake, goes deep, and this might be the opportunity Harley needs to try and go around the inside. Can he outbrake him here? No, he can't. Sticks on the back of him, but obviously Gert Fischer is absolutely pushing that car to the limit. And now possibly sort of a few threads starting to come away at the side of his tapestry, and it might all come tumbling down if he cannot keep it together.
Look who is starting to warm up to this, though. Alejandro Alvarez is starting to make his way up to the back of Harley Chamberlain. So this is not all over for the P6 driver. As this battling ensues, Alejandro's slightly given a few little breadcrumbs from the top pack. As soon as he can start grabbing that disturbed air, getting past it and into that slipstream, he should be able to reel in the guys ahead. Luke Whitehead looks like he's managed to slightly gain some time, and now it's the back straight again. He's going to start losing that time that he worked so hard for. But as you guys in the chat noticed, oh my god, wasn't he mighty on the brakes that last lap. We'll see how he goes into the braking zone again. Turn 1 then, on the brakes. Definitely not as impressive as it was last time. He was always sideways into the apex last time. It was fantastic, but does get himself maybe half a tenth on the back of Aidan Walshingham. But these guys are so good round here. They're so marginal. But Aidan should, technically, if he's got a little bit of pace over Luke Whitehead, might start to eat into Boothby. But Boothby's got no pressure at this stage. He's got a second and a half. Technically, he can make mistakes, or 1 or 2, and still hold on to the top spot. So, nice and easy for him. He's not got anyone breathing down his neck. That's the main thing.
Someone who does have a neck full of hot breath is Jardier. He's got Prendergast right on the back of him. It's Aston Martin versus Aston Martin. And that car number 10 really does seem to be putting it all over the back of Jards. He's going to have to be really fighting hard to hold him off.
Jards not really in this race at the moment, is he? I know P12 fighting with Kieran Prendergast after the season he had last season. He finished 2nd or 3rd place. I think it was 3rd place, wasn't it, Jards? Around there. Maybe 4th, I think, because I think he missed a race at the end. Can't remember. I'll have a little check if you like.
We're going back. I'm going back already. I've already got the page open.
He's already looking. He's got his pens out.
Place.
Yeah, I thought he was.
He was second. And actually, someone who I haven't seen here in the first race, who was 3rd place last time round, was Conrad Ciata. I don't think he's actually with us this evening, is he?
He's not. He's not. I don't know if he's on the list. He might just be missing this one. Might have to have a little run through the entries. I don't think I've seen him on that list, so he might not. I know they do come and go. They might be back next season, I know that much, but if he's not here at the moment, normally everyone arrives for the first race. Just, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, not maybe the Aston Martin's just not that great round here. Struggling on with pace slightly for Jards. Knowing Jards though, he doesn't do any practice. He just comes and turns it on, and he gets good towards the end of the season. He's hotting up ahead again. We'll have to jump up to the top 3 because Luke Whitehead right on the back of Aidan Walshingham looking for a pass. All the while George Boothby is snaking away. 1.5 at some change now. He's got himself a nice comfortable pillow to bounce on. How is the battle going on though that we're on board with? Chamberlain and Fisher seems to have eked out slightly. Avalez is going to be hoping there's a little bit of a pickle up ahead because he wants to get in this fight. What else have we got then going on down? And obviously you've got Prendergast and Jards going toe-to-toe. I think that's really the only other battle. P19 and 20 looks like Sentema and Papin were getting very close earlier on.
Been a bit of a squabble further down the grid. Car number 38 of Luca Tisato was battling out with the BMW. I didn't actually catch the number of that one. I think it might have been Josh Waring. He did well. Sort of, there was some slightly obscure swerving, we'll say, from the 38 car. I suppose you might have just about probably could keep it within the rules of moving once to then moving back to the racing line, but then definitely drifted across the track one more time. So that might be something to keep an eye on if he sort of puts in a complaint about it. But then actually in the end had coming together with an Aston Martin, who I think that was car number 7. Had a little incident with them. That was Stefan. We got spun down at turn 1, so did not look too great. Oh, apparently the Lexus is very hard on the tyres here. I think the Lexus in general is hard on the tyres. It's not an overly aero-driven car. It's sort of a lot more mechanical grip, a bit like the old GTR, where it's based a lot more on tyre grip as opposed to sort of downforce. Interesting to see how he does hold up. I mean, he's got such a lead at the moment that technically Boothby should be able to sort of hang on to what he's got.
Should be seeing some of these pit stops as well come into place. I think it has actually been known on main chat in the game that they need to pit. So they've been told, I think, that people need to pit. So you should see people pitting anyway. It's going to be very hard to police, though. You should be able to tell you at the end of the race, though. It tells people who's pitted and who hasn't. So I don't think you can get away with it, really. But there you go. We're on board then with Samir Foch, who's fighting with Thomas at the moment for position. Sorry, Tim.
Oh, no, sorry. I just wanted to quickly say there is a message that has come through now. So, server settings are messed up. Drivers have been warned in the chat that stewards will be monitoring the stops manually. Pit stop is still mandatory.
There we go.
That is coming from up high. So that is the case. So the poor stewards who normally have to keep an eye on all the racing incidents and everything in between, they are now going to have to be monitoring. There you go, Samir Foch. He came into the pit. He's one of the old guard. He knows the rules. He's coming in.
We're on board with him when he came in.
He would have just known, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Or he was listening to us at that exact moment and went, "Oh my dear God!" It just dived himself into the pit. Like,
we were on board when he did it. When he decided to come in. As Samir was on the limits there, we were literally on the nose as he almost took it out in the pit entry. We've got another car in the pits as well. That car's a little bit further down. Can't quite see who that is yet, but there is another car in the pits. So there you go. Right, Samir Foch is our yardstick. He was in P9 when he pitted. It's Renari who came in earlier just behind. There you go, you can see that car coming in the pit. So there you go. I mean, you've got to remember there were some people pitting at the very beginning because of the incident, so it's going to be very hard to keep an idea on what's going on. That 488 was bouncing all over the place. It was. Samir definitely heavy on the biscuits trying to get that car to stop. The Lexus has almost lapped a car here. This is how fast George Boothby is this time out. And the guys have closed up slightly again. Fisher is actually on the back of Luke Whitehead once again. So stay on board, Gert. Fantastic season last season, wasn't it? And that was just building on top of the last season before that, where he had a very good season too. Always in the BMW is Gert Fisher. Can't remember seeing him in anything else. But yeah, doing good. Performing well, as always. He's always up there, isn't he? He's been up there for the past couple of seasons. A force to be reckoned with. And now punching for the top spots.
I mean, generally, wherever you see Gert Fisher, whether it be sort of in a Sprint Cup series like this, or you see him in an endurance race, you know that he is one of those drivers that just isn't going to make stupid mistakes. They're going to be able to really push it, play that long game, but still be able to attack nicely. Someone like, say, you look at someone like Mikowski as well, who is currently running down in 18th place, just coming to the pits, actually. You know, that's another driver, one of the old guard, that you just know could just drive a certain way when they need to. They can just open an extra tap, it seems. But yeah, Gert Fisher is certainly on the up and up. I don't see any reason why he can't be finishing, so, you know, on the podium most races at this point. Say 4th place at the moment, and he's sniffing around the back of Luke Whitehead again. Sort of getting to that point where people might be, well, should be pitting pretty soon. Be interested to see what people's tyres, how they turn on. It did look like Whitehead took a little bit longer to get his tyres turned on at the start of the race. So, you know, realistically, if you came in at the same time as Luke and you're already close and you know you're stronger on cold tyres, then you've got that opportunity to just try and push that little bit more.
Just having. Oh, sorry, sorry, mate.
No, it's fine.
I was going to say.
The BMW is a bit more of a static platform, isn't it? It doesn't tend to wobble about and affect it quite so hard. But there you go, Gert Fisher coming in. Minutes.
Yeah, he is in. See if he takes it up to the wall. No, he doesn't. Cuts in very nicely. I was saying there are a few drivers that aren't racing today. Alex Torregrosa, Spanish driver, not actually racing around his home race. Never mind. I'm just going through to see if we've got anyone else who we might recognise who's not here today. I don't think we do. That's the only DNF or non-start, so did not start. Is I think it's them, Alex Torregrosa. I've not seen him on the roster today, but there you go. I was going through the results of the man in question. Gert Fisher, we're currently on board at the moment. I will change because no one wants to watch his pit. 3rd place, and 3 of them. Last season he had one podium, and the season before that he had 2. And I think he finished 7th the season before last, 20th last season, season before the last season. Before the last season of the last season, it was P6 in the championship. So he's hunting for the top spots, but yeah, a little bit of work to do from Gert Fischer. Hopefully we can see him higher than 3rd place this season. Chamberlain's been released. She's off now to go and fight Luke Whitehead. See how that goes. Yeah, no other pitters. Stop, go for Gert.
Yeah. And the chat did just point it out. Toro Grosso currently running in 7th place.
What?
Yep. But I didn't see him before either. I couldn't see him before. I could see Terminen, and I always get Terminen and Toro Grosso mixed up because dyslexic is as the Dickens. But yes, he's running in 7th place, and I haven't seen that name, and I don't think we've mentioned it on both read-throughs of the grid. Just somehow we completely missed he was there, and that is ridiculous. That's like literally missing the sun in the sky on a nice sunny day in June.
He was definitely there.
Like, you know.
He was definitely there. He was inside the top 10, I think, at the beginning.
Yeah, he's 7th. So yeah, but he's
I saw him at the start there with his blue and orange liveried BMW. He's definitely there. Alex Torregrosa. He's P7 at the moment. He's got some pitters, that's why, I guess. Luke Whitehead's in, by the way. FYI. George Boothby also in. So there you go. We're seeing some pitters happen already. Well, let's see the yardstick then. He was down in P8. How much time has he gained? Samir Foch. I think we should just go on board. It's going through, I think, turn 10. See how much time. He came in a good 2-3 laps before the people in front of him. Obviously Gert Fischer's going to lose out massively with his stop go. That's just, that's a pack up and go home, that, isn't it, really? I think that's what we used to call those. Boys, if you do want to watch the pit wall live, you can do on the timing. I pinned it at the top of the chat. You can watch it on there if you like. There's a link to the stream on there as well, so you still won't miss anything. But it does mean you don't have to just watch it on YouTube. You'll get a live pit map, and you get to see, I'm sure you know how pit wall works. Go on there, sign up, blah 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 blah, and you get to see a little bit more information. It's pinned at the top if you want it. Right, Samir Foch, where is he then? Come on. As these guys jiggle themselves around, can't quite see where he is.
18th at the moment, but there are cars in front of him pitting.
Yeah, he's gonna go higher than that.
Yeah. Just having a little look now. Oh, here we go. I believe Chamberlain coming into the pits now. Got caught in a little bit of back marker traffic, I think. Oh, Walshingham into the pits as well. So pretty close as they come in. Avalay's into the pits as well.
It's these boys we should be paying attention to, I guess. Luke Whitehead, Gert Fischer, they've all pitted. Obviously, it's just terrible, isn't it, man? He's potentially in 3rd place. He's got himself a stop go. Gee, never mind. Well, we'll find out what happens with Samir. Look, Samir behind Gert. There he is. Look, I told you he'd improve. He's going to be right up inside the top 10. He was P8 when he came in, maybe P9. So I reckon he's going to be P6, somewhere like that. So there you go. Gert Fischer doing the business today. And he's perfect pit stop, that. Absolutely spot on. We'll see where... Samir Foch, that's what I'm getting at. You can see the red car at the very background. You just see him coming out from the banner. There he is, look. He pitted in 9th place. And he's almost up with his top 3. Fantastic. Here comes Gert to do his stop go. That's terrible. The only bonus after that is Samir Foch will get himself another place. So he's definitely into about 8th-ish. And here comes Aidan Walshingham. And he's out behind. Is it? Or is it the other one? Can't see.
Aidan Walshingham's already out through turn 1. He is behind...
Luke Whitehead.
Luke Whitehead, yeah.
Yeah, he's behind.
Luke's gained one. Yeah, Luke's gained one there. Nicely done.
Well done, Luke. Did it in the pit stop.
Where is Chamberlain? Let's try and find Chamberlain.
Just coming through turn 3 now.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's Samir. That's Samir. Yeah.
It is Samir. Right behind him as well. And that is not the kind of driver you want to be right behind you when you're still on cold tyres. Speaking of the old guard, I mean, God, Samir is like some of the oldest of the guard, isn't he? He's not going to take it lying down. He'll push forward, especially after having that great pit strategy that seems to have just completely reinvigorated his race. He'll be absolutely pushing forward.
This is the difference, Stewie, between pitting 3 or 4 laps before the driver ahead. It will come back to Harley, don't worry. It's just because Samir's obviously got warm tyres, and he obviously made some time because he had those tyres on for a little bit longer, so he's able to go faster for the past couple of laps. So he's chopped up some space. Chamberlain went long, whereas Luke Whitehead and Walsingham went a lap earlier. So obviously it makes it look worse, but hopefully Harley will gain some time towards the latter end of the stint. But yeah, it looks like may have lost a second or so in that pit stop as Samir goes and cuts the corner. That will definitely put a tick. Yeah, that was big. That'll be a warning, that one. Track limits. Samir's going to have to be on his best behaviour now, I think. George is still leading though, that's the main thing. Sorry.
Valentine barrier. Here we go. Some incidents coming through. So there was a lap 1 incident. That has been just put down as no further action. And then a second one here. Incident involving cars number 17, 23 and 72 on lap 1. And that is 15-second time penalty for car number 72. And that is Valentine Barrett is responsible for causing a... Well...
Hello? You're dropping in and out. You alright? Are you there? We might have lost him. He's been attacked by sea monsters. Hopefully we get him back. Oh, is he back?
Right.
Hello?
Hello?
Is he here? There you go, you're back.
Did I leave? Oh no! What happened? I didn't even see anything. I was so busy reading through incident reports.
Mid-sentence. It's just...
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, basically, Valentine Barrett's got a 15-second penalty for a lap 1 incident. So there you go. And he might have 6 licence points somehow. I don't know how. It's saying he's got 6 in 1, but I don't really understand how that's happened.
Oh no. Never mind. Disaster for Valet already, unfortunately.
When Pappin gets himself a drive-through penalty as well. Dearie me, that's going to be the track limits, isn't it?
That's a forced error, that one, yeah. Remy Pappin, he knows the business, unfortunately. Remy's going to be cursing that. That will probably be a turn 16, maybe, exit of 15 track limit infringement, I reckon, that drive-through. Unfortunately, I was going to say at the beginning of this race, that exact moment on the outside curb before you go through turn 16, I wonder how many people are going to get drive-throughs, and we've already got that first receiver of a drive-through penalty, and that will be for track limits on the outside curb entrance to turn 16. It's a nightmare, it always has been. Unfortunately, it's caused a little bit of an incident for the Frenchman. Never mind, he's P19, drive-through, probably put him outside the top 30, not going to lie. We got a spinner in turn 1, didn't see who that was. Oh, incident, Yaroslav Dimitrov. Let's just maybe hop back 30 seconds. If it breaks the game, I'm responsible. I think we're fine. Right, let's go on board-ish. Can we go behind? Let's do a horrible far chase. No one likes these, but we're going to have a look anyway. Rule number 1, never do a fast chase in a league race, but we're going to do it anyway. Oh, and there's a tap. Oh, dear. That looks like Alex Torregrossa. I didn't think he was with us. Not Torregrossa, sorry. Can't remember what his name is now. That's the Forza Italia team, something along those lines. Can't remember what the car is. Definitely wasn't Dimitrov's fault, that one. So there'll be a penalty coming. I think that was Jarabuski possibly tapping him. Was it? No.
No, that tended to be the livery that... that is the Forza Italia.
No, it was Lucian. It was Lucian. Or Lucian Porcina. Yeah. Porchnia. Forza Italia PL, the Polish Forza Italia. Oh, he's lost the rear
another
end.
mistake there. I reckon there's damage to that car, isn't there? I don't think that's going to be very nice to drive.
Might have overheated those tyres, possibly. I don't know. Not doing too well. They went. I don't know if he went sideways after that incident. Might have just put too much heat in. But there we go. Looks like Pappin serving the drive-through. Yeah, he's getting it done. Popped a croissant in the oven, and he thought, screw it, let's get that done. Have a little warm pastry.
Things, isn't it? Like, I mean, the only upside to lots of people getting it is if lots of people get drive-throughs, then you might still gain some ground. You know, it's.
Oh, we've lost him again.
You end up in the pits, and you're thinking, oh well, just got to make it, and then you just look at how much is left of the race, and you think, please let others make the same mistake as me. Like, just let it happen.
It can definitely happen. I think your internet gremlins aren't solved, by the way, Tim. You might have to look into that.
Oh, don't tell me that, please.
It's just random cutting. It's only once or twice. Don't worry, it's not as bad as I'm making out. You did disappear again, but only for a couple of seconds, and then you were back again. We had you.
Right, okie dokie.
Just thought I'd let you know.
I mean, that's great when I'm running the Tier 2 stream.
Oh, yeah!
Tune in tomorrow for all sorts of fun.
Yeah, if you want to cheer in tomorrow for a little bit of fun. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, wonderful news. I mean, like, because normally the first thing that would crash would be the timing, app. As soon as you have the slightest whisper of an internet problem, normally the timing tools will go absolutely haywire.
It might not be internet.
Fine.
It just went quiet.
It might also be I might need to tweak the old mic position or something. It might be a case that my sound software is throwing a wobbly and going, oh, there's background noise, we'll mute that, when actually it's me talking. Who knows? But a quick one's come in as well. There's another lap 1 incident. So this is 15-second time penalty for car number 6 and 7 license points, which I'm not entirely sure. Remy Papin is responsible for causing a moderate avoidable accident and driving through car 17 in lap 1.
Drove through him. That's not very nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was that rotation that we saw where there was quite a few cars getting bumped and everything. So, not sure, but yes, I mean, brave to try and just absolutely batter your way through the car in front of you. Probably not going to do yourself any favours. Someone that is doing themselves a favour, George Boothby, with the fastest lap in this half of the race, with a 1:42.665, and he is outlapping everyone behind him significantly. So I clearly need to, eat my words when it comes. Oh, a little bit wide there though. I need to eat my words when it came to saying I'm not sure if Boothby's going to end up on the podium. He did immediately, got straight past the panel beater, and that was it. He was away with the winners. And in fact, our top 3, they're pretty much on their own. They're barely on the same track as anyone else at this time. Yeah,
they've broken away, haven't they? Unfortunately, Chamberlain's been left a little bit after that pit stop. Who else was in that group? It was, of course, Gert Fischer. Oh, where's he actually worked out after all of that? Where is he? Haven't actually checked. Has he called it a day? No, he hasn't. He's P39th, though. He may as well. That's a pack up and go home. We said that already, didn't we? He's 38th position. He's almost last.
Not what you would have wanted, is it? Especially opening round. It's always one of those things. If you're always looking forward to going into a season, you're sort of feeling confident, you want it to start as well as possible, but it is a dampener on the picnic, isn't it? So someone that's doing well though, Harley Chamberlain pulling away from Samir Foch. Obviously the tyres in that Honda have switched on quite nicely and they are pushing forward.
JF is back in the chat. Welcome back after the season break. He asked us the question that was on the edge of everybody's lips: where's Kevin Niles? He's in P32. Back to normal viewing into the top 10. Harley Chamberlain's still outside the top 4. Adam Walsingham is nearly 2 seconds behind Luke Whitehead, who's 2 seconds behind George Boothby. It's not really too on-edge stuff at the moment inside the top 10. We do have Cursus Podens, though, doing quite good. Whereabouts is Cursus Podens? There you go. The G Ligui Esports Elite driver, Cursus Podens, in P14, trying to get past Krzysztof Makowski. I did your boy dirty there, JF. I'm sorry. Where is Foch? P5. He will possibly get caught. You're right, Chris. His tyres will run out at some point. We'll keep an eye on that battle for P5. We'll probably get Alejandro knocking on the door of Samir Foch at some point in the next 10 minutes. But we do have a race between Apex 1 and Krista's. Is it Krista's? Krista's. The G Ligui Esports Elite driver. The 69 car. What a meme.
I would see number 69. Where am I? Oh, I'm going mad. Christian Podens. That's the one. My mind was, again, I'm deep in the inquiries chat. So I've got another one that's come through here. So we now have a 10-second time penalty for car number 17 and 2 license points. and that is Lucas Congretel is responsible for causing an avoidable accident, and that was on lap 5. So 10-second penalty coming through at some point in the chat, in the game, sorry, when it appears.
Oh dear, it gets worse for the Congra Eel. He's down in, I think, P40. He's actually last at the moment. It started so well, Lucas. Unfortunately not for the rest of this race. But Christos Podens, yeah, trying desperately to get onto the back of Makowski. Wasn't Christos part of that track limits violation team? Was it the funny team we had last season, where he had all of the track limits livery? Can't remember what it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to do my head in now. I can't remember the name of it now.
Chat saying Valet's fighting a BMW. I mean, it's yes, we might as well watch it if you want to, but it is for nothing because he's got a 15-second time penalty. I mean, yes, it's on-track action, but it's not necessary. Valet, though, is obviously just going to keep racing just as he would normally. We might as well watch it, eh? It's a fight inside the top 10. Valentine Barrier versus Michael Thomas. With too much Yorkie action. Getting my Mats and my Mikes confused.
Was it Celtic Bromance? Was it one of their cars?
It might have been.
Celtic Bromance have so many different cars. I mean, they've had some fantastic ones over the years.
It might have been.
You know what I'm really sad that we don't see anymore, though? We don't see Bikini Bottom Racing anymore, which was great. The SpongeBob and the Patrick cars, they were so good to see. There was nothing quite as great as seeing a very angry yellow Audi with a great big smiling face of SpongeBob plastered all over the front of it. There was just something great about seeing that. But
I do remember in the endurance leagues that we were running, the GOAT teams. Do you remember the GOAT teams? GOAT Racing 1 through to about 5. It's so funny. And Beeswax as well. I haven't seen many Beeswax teams in the top tier. I know some of the coordinators involved in those teams, but yeah, good driving all around. Valentine Barrier still fighting on the back. Michael Thomas. You're right, chat. He will fight to the end, even though he's got 15 seconds worth of naughty points.
I like the naughty points. That works quite well.
It's true, though, isn't it?
I think Jard still being absolutely hounded by Prendergast. These two Aston Martins are basically sharing the same air on the intake. I think everything that is going into the front of Jard's car and then out the back is going immediately into the front of Prendergast's. So there's sort of, double ingested air. There is just absolutely nothing.
It's a mechanical centipede of Astons.
Yes, I was thinking as I was saying it. I was like, can I make that reference?
We were all thinking it.
Rage came in to say it anyway, so that's fine. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there from Jards. I'm not sure if we're on board with him or not. I just jumped back in with this little battle just because these two have been squabbling for so long. They've obviously kept it super clean, and I imagine probably much to the dismay of Prendergast. As you said, Jards has probably just been getting quicker and quicker as he's got more and more used to the car. So it's very rare that Jards goes quiet on a stream. He's usually quite the chatty man, but I imagine there was probably a few minutes of just hunkering down and trying to get quicker.
So at least he's got a measured opponent he's racing against. He knows how fast Kieran is. He's normally probably bottom end of the top 10 for Kieran, so he knows Jard might have him slightly licked, so he might be off that worry list slightly. But also you got to remember that Prendergast is pretty well rehearsed now, isn't he? I don't know how many seasons he's been with us. At least he's been here the whole time I have. He's got to have been. He's probably about 6 or 7 or 8 seasons deep, so at least he knows he's not going to crash into the back of him. But yeah, Jard's holding on. It's probably not working for Kieran either because he knows how fast Jard's is. I'm keeping an eye on that gap between Alejandro and Samir. It's still not changed. It's actually gone up a little bit. 6 tenths between P5 and P6. The gap to George Boothby is widening. That Lexus is doing very well. He's almost had a change up ahead. That was Barrier and Michael Thomas, and he's had to go over the rumble there. Let's go back 10 seconds and see as that happened into turn 1. On the outside, there was a little tap then. That was Valley on the outside of Michael. He goes over the rumbles. He does take the position, but he'll give it up. Alex Torregrossa there going, oh, I fancy a bit of this. Torregrossa looking to put salt in the wounds of the competitors ahead, as Valley does get ahead of Thomas, and there's a tap into turn 4. I don't think so, son. I think that's turn 5 actually. Anyway, and they all are trading places here. Oh my goodness!
I get the feeling that maybe Avalaise and Barrier are just sorry, Thomas and Barrier. I wonder if maybe they're just squabbling a little bit hard, and I mean, Torregrossa really nearly did get caught up in some sort of naughtiness there, didn't they?
Yes, I'm surprised that he hit that Aston Martin in the perfect spot, right in the central balance point of that car, and it didn't upset the front or the rear, but that was a hefty hit for ACC, and he didn't send that car round. He literally hit him on the door handle, and he's lucky that he did hit the central part of that car, because if it was any closer to the rear end, I think he probably would have span Valentin Barrier. That would have been some naughty points going to Torregrossa. But we're on board with Sakari Lethian at the moment, trying to make his mark on the guys ahead. A little bit of an opportunity opened up for him. Sakari not seen in Tier 1, but it's good to see him here now. P10, first outing with Tier 1. Fantastic race for Sakari. Sakari Lethinen, is that right? Sounds slightly Finnish, but then oddly not.
Yeah, I can't place that one, to be fair. I could have a dive.
I'm having a dive as we speak.
I was saying, I think
he's Finnish! Sorry.
You get it right.
Yeah, he is Finnish.
I think that first big bump that we saw down at turn 5, I think that was netcode. But it just the way that the Aston suddenly was on the back of the BMW, I think it was netcode, but I don't think that maybe Thomas took it in the way of, oh, I think that was netcode. I think he probably thought, hang on, if you're going to try and barge me, I'm going to defend really hard. And the two of them had quite sort of the rough and tumble over the rest of that lap. They didn't really give in to each other. I don't think it helped also that Torregrossa was right on the back of them and sniffing around, trying to take advantage of it and make their way through. But
it was Torregrossa's dive into P7 that was the one I was talking about, where he hit him on the door handle. I mean, the little love tap into 5 was just that got caught out in the braking zones. But yeah, I think you're right, netcode into 5. But yeah, seeing Alex dive in P7 was like, oh my god.
I couldn't really sort of work it out as to how suddenly he was able to get up the inside. Torregrossa it was a dive on the brakes, but also it was a case of, I really think that sort of, Thomas and Barrier were slowing each other down quite a lot as well while they were squabbling. So I think it was kind of a case of, oh, I wonder if I can get up the inside, and then suddenly, oh, good lord, no, I can't get up the inside. Just in the back of the shot as well, you can still see Prendergast sniffing around the heels of Jardier. A little Jack Russell at the postman, nipping at his heels.
We're getting close towards the end of this race now. That battle that we were kind of anticipating between Foch and Alejandro is getting closer. 4 tenths between those two drivers, so we'll keep an eye on how that hops up towards the end. Not really a lot more movement going inside the top 10. Obviously, we're watching the biggest fight going on at this race at the moment. There is a nice little race going on for P19, I can think, and P18. Zerbin. I'm not going to pronounce his surname. P19 behind, and Mallow all fighting quite hard there for P18, P19, that kind of area. Might drop down there and see if Zerbin's holding on to that, but this is the fight that we're watching at the moment. It is technically for P7. Has Valet just lost that position? He's gone back down to P8. I don't know how it all worked out, to be fair.
No. I think he's been behind Thomas, because that's what they obviously. It was the Aston bumped the back of the Beamer, and then they were both squabbling pretty hard. Then we saw the Torregrossa BMW getting involved as well. I don't think there's been any change in position there.
Here we go. The Samir incident that I was talking about. Sorry to interrupt you, Dem. I think it might be a set and done overtake for Alejandro. Round the outside into turn 1. Samir going for the brakes. Oh my god. Manages to stop the car and stays ahead, but that I think this is just going to be for how long does he manage to hold on to that? You see the battle that we were watching in the background there. Alejandro in the Hydra Sim Sports team, desperately trying to get past a wavering Samir Foch. Oh dear, if Samir just doesn't push his tyre strategies, I think we've seen like 3 seasons of Samir pushing tyre strategies. He's like an ageing footballer, you know what I mean? Changes position but still managed to captain the team. He's been here, he's 45. He's like a talisman now. Gets himself into funny positions through crazy strategies and somehow, pulls it off towards the end. But he's P5 on merit, but it's going to be a struggle, isn't it?
It is, but he's in the right place for it, isn't he? He's in front still as we speak, and you can do a lot of defending, even if you are on very worn-out tyres. Just smart driving, slowing your car on the apex, sort of killing any advantage that the car behind you has. It's really going to be a case of when his tyres really are letting go, it's going to be in the braking zone where he's just not going to be able to defend. Realistically, if Avilés can get up close enough behind so he's, within striking distance. So look at the distance there, just the braking distance for that Ferrari is so much more than the Aston at this point. And, realistically, when would you ever have said that the Aston outbrakes the Ferrari? But here we are, tyres playing a huge deal.
He's got at least 3 laps, maybe more left in it. He's got to hold on for 3 more laps. And it's turn 1 where the problem comes. Alejandro actually a little bit further back this time. Don't think he'll get it done. He's just going to have to wait until that tyre becomes a problem for Samir. We'll just have to keep an eye on it, I guess. I think it will happen. It's a matter of when, not if. But yeah, Foch holding on desperately. I hope he does. It'd be good to see Samir in P5. Right, what's going on then? George Boothby in first place. Fantastic drive in that Lexus. Luke Whitehead's going to be hoping that the tracks come his way in the later rounds. He's in P2. Aidan Walsingham slightly dropped off the pace, but looks like he's picking it up towards the end of this. 1.2 behind Luke Whitehead. Chamberlain in P4, promoted obviously because of Gert Fischer's disappointment. And then now these two boys, Samir Foch in P5, Alejandro P6. And then you've got the battle going on behind with Thomas, Barrier, Torregrossa, and Lehtinen coming in to try and scalp a few people. That Jardier-Prendergast little battle's got good, blimey. What's going on? It was 1/10 a minute ago. Looks like they got toe-to-toe in the first sector. We missed that, but we're on board with Kieran now as he tries desperately to get past Yards.
That battle for 7th place is still really waging on as well. Again, Barrier is he's kind of just almost like a back marker at this point. I mean, he is involved in the fight, and by all means, he is more than within his rights to keep fighting where he is. But as we said, he's going to gain 15 seconds at the end of the race. It's going to put him tumbling down the order. I mean, I'm trying to sort of quick maths look at it. He's going to be outside the top 20, that's for sure, with a 15-second penalty. Everyone's still pretty close.
He'll probably be down behind Loverink and Blizzard, I would have thought. I don't see him staying any up higher than that. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, probably behind Blizzard. P24, roughly, for Barrier. Never mind. Prendergast losing it through 2. It's opened up the gap now to Jards. Went from a 10th to 4 in the space of like a few feet. Never mind. Well, let's go back on board with Alejandro. We'll keep the battles in our minds, at least on the left-hand side. If anything changes, shout, and we'll quickly jump on over. But I think this is the one that people want to watch. We've got Alejandro Avilés versus Samir Foch, the 888 versus the 23. Ferrari versus Aston Martin. Aston chasing the Ferrari of Samir, the red Ferrari of Samir Foch, as always. Never changes as well. It's the old Ferrari too. He's had it for ages.
Not running a different car last season. Did
No.
not see him drive. No.
No.
I'm sure I've seen somewhere that he was in a different car. It was still a Ferrari.
It might have been a couple of
I
seasons
know
ago.
Yeah,
He was definitely in it last time.
There's definitely been a race at least, and I've been like, hang on a second, he's in the wrong car.
He was definitely in it last season because I remember watching the red Ferrari around Misano because he got himself in. He was in the lead, wasn't he? At one point.
Yes.
His real livery on that 488 is much better. Well, why is it not working? Conger Eel, he's right down at the bottom. Where is he? I think he's out, to be honest with you.
37.
Yeah.
He's still out there driving. But a 10-second penalty as well to his name.
Oh, Daniel Carey saying, I usually watch Jard's. Changed it for tonight, and I've really enjoyed your commentary. Well, there you go. When's the next round? Are you streaming it? And thank you. Yes, we will be streaming it. This is the AOR official stream, and this is the AOR Tier 1 race you're watching. So, yeah, we'll be streaming every single one of them. Sorry if that sounded patronising. But, yes, we're here every Monday, 7:30, and we shout about it, and we have done for many seasons. But, yeah, no, we'll be here. If you want to watch some more racing tomorrow, Tier 2, hopefully, fingers crossed, Tim is able to do that. That'll be the same time, same place. We'll be doing Tier 2 round the same track at the same time. With just a different set of boys and girls, as we found out. Possibly. A lot of questions yet to be answered.
Oh, right, here we go. There's another bunch of incidents coming through. Oh, goodness gracious, I love it when they all end up getting all into one big lump. So I think this is just going to be this last one here. I've got car number 67, 69, 88, 99, 111, 138, lap 7, time 10-second penalty for car number 88 and a license point. 5-second penalty for car number 67.
Oh, God.
And a license point. So
that's
that
Vulcan.
is Asiacek and Zerban are responsible for causing minor avoidable incidents.
Oh, never mind.
So squabbling.
Yeah.
Squabbling amongst them all.
They've only got to lap 7. That's worrying. We're lap 33 at the moment. Well, we might have some more coming towards the end. They had a lot on their plate tonight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's been a busy one. It's been a busy one for them. We can't, blame them too much for that.
No. Never mind. Right, they
have far more power than we do. Far much more power than we do. So I will bow to my masters on that one. Let them go.
Terry's saying good stream commentary. Shout out to the Turn 1 sim racing guys. I'm not too sure who's racing in that outfit, but let us know and we'll tell you where they are. I'm sure you can probably see, but there you go. If you want to find out where anyone is, guys, you can watch the Pitwall Live timing app just above it. I pinned it, so you can watch it if you like. I know we've only got a couple of minutes to go. When I say a couple of minutes, we don't even have that. A couple of seconds to go. 46 to be exact. George Boothby, where is he? I can't quite see where he is on the track. Where are you, Boothby? Boothby, I think he's going through turn 11, 12, roughly. Yep, going to turn 13 now. So we might get one more here. I'll let you know as we round through
a bit of a
turn
squeeze,
14,
isn't
15.
it?
It's gonna be tight. Yeah. Look what's happening behind. Aidan Walsingham and Luke Whitehead incredibly close. That's changed. I think we'll get one more. Well, there you go. We know what we're going to be watching for another lap. 16 seconds across the line then. He does get it done. This will be the final one, and we'll go on board with Aidan Walsingham because he's chasing down his teammate with only a few more corners to go, and Luke Whitehead risks losing it all. He's been falling back lap after lap. Those tyres falling away. That Porsche definitely not racing well round here today, Tim.
Definitely looks like he's sort of weakened off, and here you can see the back end of it looking very skittish going through turn 3. High commitment corner. Aidan going out a lot wider. Such different lines through there. They both managed to carry pretty decent speed, but the Honda of Aidan Walsingham really looking like the aggressor at this point. Gets a slightly better run, washes out a lot wider though.
He's fighting for it, isn't he?
Luke is not going to give it up easily, but I say Aidan, they've been teammates before and they really know each other pretty well. They're both sort of well-respected drivers in amongst themselves, but at the same time they want positions, they want to try and win the championship if possible, and Walsingham will be desperate to try and beat Luke.
It's going to be tough, isn't it? From here.
This might be the move here. He's going to have a little look to the inside. We've seen Luke really good on the brakes, but not able to outbrake him that time.
I don't think he's going to have any more opportunities. The next opportunity really is down to turn 1, and we're not going to have that opportunity because of the last lap of the race. Oh, what a valiant attempt by Aidan Walsingham. Not sure he's going to have the opportunity. It might be a race to the line, but we will stay with it. You can see George Boothby ahead coming through the final corner. Hats off to him. Fantastic showing. Took the lead of the race into the first corner, and he's commanded that lead all the way to the final one. George Boothby comes across the line for another win with AOR. Aidan Walsingham doesn't manage to get the better of Luke Whitehead across the line. And where's Samir Foch? Has he held on to Alejandro Alvarez? He has. He's managed to hold on to 5th place. Well done, Samir. Meanwhile, though, Michael's got himself a 5-second time penalty. Toro Grosso will be promoted up into 7th place. And looks like Lutheran will get into 7th or 8th, one of those. Fantastic end for those drivers. Penalties coming into it at the end there. Jards and Prendergast, where that finished. I think Prendergast just behind Jards. Fantastic end. So many guys so close after 35 laps, and they were still running down towards the line. Matt York coming through the final corner. What a baptism back into Tier 1 for him. He's got Blizzard behind him as he comes across the line. 23rd. That's not where he'll want to be, but I think he'll just be pleased that that's the end of the race. Traction Dave coming across the line in P25. Vulcan in 26th, but he'll go behind Waring after that penalty, unfortunately. And that's really about it. Kevin Niles, look. Not a race to remember for him. Back in P31. Lots more work to go for Niles, unfortunately. But what a race to the end there. Luke Whitehead having to fend off his teammate. Incredible. George Boothby, though, winning in a Lexus. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time you saw it? I mean, the answer is pretty much never. I want to give a quick shout out there. Got to say it to Harley Chamberlain for 4th place, coming into the championship. Absolutely knocking him out the park. Already got himself up that high. 4th place, round 1. That's some good going. He is surrounded by very, very big names there. He's obviously got the 3 big names in front of him, but as well, he managed to hold off Foch, Avilés, Toro Grosso, Jards. Big names. So impressive stuff. Impressive stuff for his sort of first race here in Tier 1.
Yeah, very good. I mean, we shouted out in qualifying that it was a good position. I'm just going through old statistics to try and find out when we last had a win from George Boothby, and the nearest one I can find is season 11. The last time he had a race win, I'm pretty sure it was season 11. That's going back some. Let's see whereabouts that was. It was in America, so that must have been Indianapolis, I'm going to say. Yeah, it was Indianapolis. That's when Luke Whitehead had a disaster, and it practically let Tinker van der Velde run away with the championship. So there we go. That was the last time we saw George Boothby win. That might have been, I think, roughly around the same time George Boothby lost out in the championship, maybe a season or so before, because of his disastrous disconnect in Misano. So there you go. A little bit of history in AOR. Boothby has won before. The last time he won, though, was season 11. We'll double check with him to make sure. There's that message you can see, look, from Dylan. Pit stop still mandatory, even if the game says otherwise. Well, there you go. Fantastic start to season 15. Boothby coming away with maximum points. Luke Whitehead with 88, and behind him, Aidan Walsingham. I think it's like 72, somewhere like that, roughly. But hey, early days. But yeah, standout driver there, George Boothby, closely followed by Chamberlain and Foch for me. What a start. What a season so far.
Fantastic start to it. And I will just quickly say that all 3 of our podium drivers, they're in the booth. They're ready for interviews, which is such a rarity. Normally, it's such a pain.
Fantastic.
Trying to get a hold of drivers. It is absolutely fantastic.
Well, let's. Should we drag in the winner? Have a chat with him, and then we'll go. Or how should we start this?
I think we drag in Boothby. I think that seems to be the way to go. I'll grab him in. Oh no, it's too late. He's already here.
I pulled him in, George. We were just discussing. Last time we had a race win, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, season 11 around Indianapolis.
Jesus, it's been a while.
It's been a little while since we've had a chat, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Before that, I think it was. I can't quite remember. I just had it on. But yeah, I mean, from disasters in Misano, I seem to remember in season 9, maybe season 10, we're back up. We're back up and fighting, and in a Lexus. What made you do that?
Well, I thought if I come back to AOR, I gotta come back in style in some way. So, I can pick the boring meta cars, but I thought with the custom BOP and with it applying to some of the older cars as well, let's just choose something that's absolutely just people would laugh at. So, went with the Lexus, and with -40, it was like pretty much just competable. Like, I had to get really lucky, to be honest, in that race with a lot of things. But my quali was like, wow, that was like the lap. I couldn't go much quicker than that, to be honest. So I just had to nail everything, and it was enough. So
You did.
I'm hoping that, you know, all the rounds for the rest of the season, you know, it's within that window. Because here it was just barely in that window where, you know, you can go for the win. Hopefully the other rounds, it's, you know, in that window, a little bit easier maybe, and I can keep fine at the front of it.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, nailed quali, nailed turn 1, lap 1, and then, yes, I think you were given a few gifts from behind, but I mean, still, you commanded that lead and ran from turn 1 to turn, whatever it is, 16 at the final lap, 35 of them in the lead, so apart from obviously pit stops, and thank you for stopping, I must say. It is a funny old season this season. We've got Barcelona to start, Indy Watkins Glen, end up in Paul Ricard, Suzuka and Spa. So yeah, I mean, look, I have no idea with this BOP where that Lexus is going to be, but considering it was so good around Barcelona, I mean, it's a good even track. It's looking good, man. Took a meme car and came out with the W. Crazy. Well done.
Thank you, man. Yeah, just it's gonna see how it goes for the rest of the season. Like maybe I'll have some bad rounds, maybe I'll keep having good rounds. Let's just see what happens and get stuck in. So one last thing, Lexus is back.
George, what's up with the livery? What's up with the livery? Got chat's asking what's going on with it. It's crazy. It's like an art car.
Can you see the livery?
I mean, it's a multicoloured mess of McDonald's.
I don't know why. A lot of people say the same thing. They just have this livery, this custom livery in their game, and no one knows why. Like, almost all my team have it, and we don't know where it's from, where it appeared from, but it just looks really funny. So I thought I'd use it, and then I'd upload my own livery for the next race. But it turns out you guys have it as well. So somehow everyone has this freaking livery.
Well, there you go. Okay. Why not? Just keep it, man. Just own it. It's yours now. So there you go. Well done. Oh, brilliant to have you back in AOR Tier 1, buddy. And hopefully it's more race wins to come.
Thank you so much. Cheers, man.
No problem. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Right, let's get Luke in for a little chat. Luke, oh my goodness, what a torrid time you had out there, but still managed to hold on to P2. Pipped to the turn 1, lap 1, and then holding on, managed to pip Aiden in the pits. I mean, what was going on? I heard whispers of problems with your rig and stuff like that, or was it just not a good Porsche track?
Yeah, well, first off, good evening, everyone.
Evening, sorry, I should say. Welcome back to season 15, Tier 1.
I hope you had a good New Year, etc.
I did. Thank you.
Didn't have too much to drink.
No.
But yeah, I mean, the rig is true. Yeah, I had problems with my rig. The wheel is kind of moving up and down every time I turn. So I estimated that it's probably losing about a tenth and a half, a tenth a lap on average. Because, of course, some laps it wasn't really doing it. Other laps it was. But that wasn't my issue today, really. The car felt good. Setup was good. The Lexus and George were just faster. It's that simple, really. I mean, George drove really well, and that car was an absolute rocket ship today. I don't think anyone could have kept with it, which is a shame, really, given that, as I say, the car felt good that I had. There's something fundamentally broken with the tyres, which I have been able to diagnose now, which is nice. Means that I can work on getting it kind of mitigated in future. But I mean, you know, the setup was as good as I could make it, and as I say, quality pace was good as well. So plenty of positives to take. I think just this track also lined up perfectly with how the Lexus is. You know, the Lexus doesn't have the most downforce. You know, in the final sector it's a bit of a boat. But with that long straight and how quick the middle sector is, you know, long, you know, there's no really high downforce corners, I guess, in that middle sector, which is where it's so fast and just stretches legs. Whereas at places like Brands and Indy, you know, other tracks are like even Suzuka, I think it will struggle just because it, you know, it's not as peak downforce heavy. But you know, we'll see. I mean, if it has -40 everywhere, then it won't need much more grip. But yeah, as I say, we'll see. We'll just have to maximise my result like I did today. I don't think, honestly, I think maybe if I'd kept the leads at the start, we'd have maybe had a fighting chance. But I think he just cruised past us. Would have just been a DRS pass, I think. But yeah, as I say, 1, 2, 3 for the team. Good opening round.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's still fantastic result. Are you guys registered as a team this time round? I'm not sure you are. I was going to say...
I'm not 100% sure, actually.
When you...
I know we were last season.
Luke, when you say there's
Don't think
something,
you were at the start of last season. I think there was like halfway through the season the team was officially added.
Yeah.
It was one of those weird moments of we were like, everyone at home was like, oh, they're all teammates, and I think me and you, Rage, were thinking, are they teammates? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
There's a lot of
we
questions.
yeah, I mean, we got a fair few drivers from the team, a bit of an army actually. Obviously, 3 of us in the top 3, 4 of us in the top 5, and 5 of us in the top 10. So, good result for the team as well. But as I say, good opening round, limited the damage a little bit, and yeah, look forward to a fully wet Indy, which should hopefully cater to my car a bit better.
good. Perfect. Well, Luke, I was just going to touch quickly on, you said there was a fundamental problem with the tyres. Is that car specific, or is that just current issues you're facing?
Yeah, it's car specific, unfortunately. I was overheating my rears and had max ducts, so as cold as the tyres can be, and had neutral rear toe. I did everything I could to mitigate the rear tyres, and I actually had a bit of an understeering setup. So I thought if I was overheating any tyres, it'd be the fronts, but it was the rears. And they had not one bit of force put through them, really, from my driving and everything like that. So, yeah, unfortunate, really.
Okay.
But, something that I'm going to wrestle with. I mean, as I say, it's 18 degrees, so really shouldn't be an issue I'm encountering.
Yeah, I was going to say the track was cold, so.
The point. Yeah, I mean, like most cars only really experience that with 28 degrees onwards, and even then you can run like 4 ducts, 5 ducts. I'm running 6 in the rear and can't go any higher. So, yeah, it is an issue, but we'll find a way.
Okay.
Well,
All
I
right.
always do.
And is that also, that's going to be not track specific as well? So that's going to be something you're chasing throughout the season. Interesting.
I think it'll be worse at Barca, obviously, at this track. I mean, it's a very tire heavy track anyway, but if it's anywhere above 24 degrees, it's going to be killing my rears. So yeah, I mean, it was something that I didn't know was a thing before coming into this. I knew the rear tires were quite downforce or quite wear heavy, but I didn't know what the cause was. Now I do. So it's a positive. It's all a bit of, I came into this kind of wanting to learn the car, learn the intricacies, and I've done that, and I've already done that round 1. So I can only go more positive.
It's only up from here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, brilliant. Well, anyway, look, it's still good points, still 88. You're still well in it. Plenty of opportunities to come for the rest of the season, Luke. So, I wish you the best, and we'll see you for the next race in a week's time. Hopefully you can get on top of those niggles.
Fingers crossed, mate.
No
Should
problem.
be better in the wet anyway.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, take care, boys. Have a good one.
No worries, Luke. See you soon. Thanks again, buddy.
Yeah, all right, bye-bye.
Right, we will jump in his teammate, Aiden. Take it away, Tim. Have a little chat and see how his race went.
Oh, he is in. Aiden, it was an absolutely fantastic race. We fought for a little while. You were going to take away 2nd place as well, and then you brought our hopes right back at the end of the race, but weren't quite able to get rid of the champion in front of you. Talk us through how that race went for you, though.
I mean, it was pretty good. First time driving the Honda. The car is, it's not a handful, but it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of, I don't know, the car can do things quite well, it would seem. But I don't know, just got on with the car. Worked fine for me. Much getting along with it a lot better than I did with the Lambo last season. But yeah, I lost a lot of time in the pit lane. Apparently the car has pit lane tax. You have to like stop in your box and I don't know, pay someone, or the engine takes a really long time to start. Like, yeah, I lost about a second just turning on the engine, which is quite ridiculous for a race car, but it does that.
It'd probably be like Hondas in real life, where you've got the annoying thing if you put the key in and you'd think, oh, that'll start it, and then you realise, oh no, there's a button on the other side of the dash I've got to press as well. So it's probably a
Careful here.
You know it's true, Rage. You've driven Hondas. You know what it's like when you're like, why won't the car start? Oh, there's a big red button over there I need to press. So it's just simulating real life. It's the proof of a true simulation. But you were saying you're already feeling like it's a better car than the Lamborghini last time round. Obviously, that was 0 traction control last time to get that car to be anywhere near competitive, and you did a really good job in it. Any sort of obscure setup that you're willing to let us know about, sort of to the wide world? Are you running 0 traction control again this season, or is it just kind of going for sort of a safer setup?
Car looks like it kind of needs the TC because it kicks like a mule on exit, and as soon as it steps out, you can't straighten it out again. So that TC is a very, very good safety net. Maybe when I feel more comfortable with it, TC0 might be an option. But not just yet. Definitely going to run TC1 for a little bit, or maybe 3, maybe 5. We don't know. We'll like stick to odd numbers with traction control.
Fair enough. The opposite of me with a TV channel, then. Oh, just TV volume. I always go for evens.
Yeah, volume's got to stay even.
Volume's got to stay even, but traction control that can go into the odds. Fair enough. But so looking forward to the rest of the season. Obviously, we've got Boothby back. He is essentially as a teammate as well, so that's always nice. Obviously he's come in this round and pretty much dominated the race. He obviously took away pole position pretty quickly. It was lap 1. Then he managed to hold on to it pretty much the whole way through, apart from obviously with the pit stops. How are you feeling your chances of going up against not one giant, but 2 this season?
I'm not going to overtake George on a straight this season.
I mean, you could give him a little pit maneuver. You'd squeeze past with a pit maneuver.
You can't get close enough, man. You see the straight line on the Lexus. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, they're my teammates. I love racing against them, love racing with them. So, it'll be a fun season.
Days.
Yeah, hope the BOP stays pretty close for the top 3 cars. Like this round, it seemed very close between the 3 cars. Maybe Lexus needed a few kilos more. Maybe a couple dozen, who knows? But
I like it.
Well,
I think it's good to have the meme.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will get to see it all again next week. Thank you ever so much for joining us tonight, Aidan. Massively appreciate you jumping in the booth. Always nice to get the podium drivers in there. But I think we are going to sort of start wrapping it up for the rest of the evening now. So thank you very much, Aidan.
Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.
No problem.
Cheers.
Thanks, Ed. Right. Well, I think we should get things knocked on the head this evening. Guys, join us tomorrow if you want to watch the Tier 2 boys have a go at Barcelona in the same evening conditions. See if we can have a repeat of the fantastic race that we saw this evening. Tim, you should be doing that for the guys. So, 7:30 for that, same time, same place. If you fancy watching some more racing for an hour, then jump on in. Chat, thank you very much for making it fun. All come back next week and we should have more bants, I'm sure. But thank you very much for joining, and we'll finish things up. Tim, as always, I'll see you next week. Have fun tomorrow. Hopefully the internet stays good.
I think I've solved that. I've solved my problem.
Fingers crossed.
It's a cable.
It was a cable.
It's a cable.
Fair enough. At least it's not like a mouse or something, or a fire.
I'm saying
One
it
or
with
the
confidence. I'm saying it with confidence, everyone. It's a cable.
It's a cable. Promise. Right, we'll end it there, guys. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow for Tier 2, and same time next week for Round 2. We'll see you soon.